Why is the New York State public school system taking a side in a global conflict? Well, welcome to this week's edition of Israel Frontline Update. I'm Bishop Robert Stearns with Eagle's Wings, and every week we gather to give you insights from Israel, the greater Middle East, and the global conflict that's happening right now between the Western world, Judeo-Christian civilization, and a radicalized form of Islam that is increasingly present in the Western world. We've got to keep an eye on these developments. So there's a lot going on this week, and I want to dive right into it. If it's your first time, hit the subscribe button, the share button, the like button, and get connected to this global move. True to his word, the Trump administration has revoked numerous international visas from students on campuses across America. We have seen this outpouring of extremism on American campuses, but when we trace it back, we see that the leadership of these radicalized groups is very often coming from foreign nationals who are coming in, being planted in our nation. As many as 1,000 visas. It says, a New York Magazine said more than 1,000 international students have had their visas revoked from 170 colleges and at least 40 states across America. So one by one, the Trump administration is going through and revoking these international student visas. If you're not in favor of America, why are you studying here? If you are opposed to Western education, Western values, why have you taken the time and energy to be in our schools? They are being sent out. This second point absolutely blows me away. The New York City public school system of New York City, New York taxpayers, recently sent out a newsletter featuring this title, Stop Genocide Gaza Toolkit. This toolkit allegedly included information on protesting against Israel, funding the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, that's the BDS movement, and putting pressure on elected officials who support Israel. Why is the New York State public school system taking a side in a global conflict? How about teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, so that students can be empowered to make up their own minds on global issues instead of being indoctrinated by the New York City public school system? Well, thankfully, when this finally went out, the Chancellor, Chancellor Aviles Ramos, explained that the link violated their policy on political neutrality and said, we immediately ordered its removal and have begun conducting a thorough investigation as to how this was added into New York City public schools communication. Sounds to me like the Chancellor is having to cover up for some pretty bad behavior. I don't think you need an investigation to figure out how an email was sent out to your entire, I think you just have to find out who sent the email. Anyone who's ever led an organization of any size knows you have to have an approval process to send out an email. And obviously this email got approved at very, very high levels. And who knows if the Chancellor themselves knew about it, but they certainly are backtracking. So unbelievable, because this demonstrates that there must be a strong pro-Hamas sentiment within the New York City school system for this to pass muster and get out there, even though now they are backtracking this. This is the reality. Congressman Torres, who, if you are not following Congressman Torres, you need to be. He's a rising star on the American political scene. He said there is no place for ideological indoctrination in public education. Full stop. Thank you, Congressman Torres. There is no place for ideological indoctrination in public education. An apology from the Department of Ed is necessary but insufficient. The individual responsible for injecting personal politics into official communications where it does not belong should be fired. Absolute agreement, Congressman Torres. Thank you for standing up for all tax-paying New Yorkers who want their children educated, not indoctrinated. Now, moving on, there's all kinds of things happening that you need to be aware of. April the 12th, the U.S., in a break with previous policy, has begun direct negotiations with Iran. Now, this is troubling to a lot of us. A lot of us believe that Iran is past the place of negotiation, past the place of discussion, and in the place that it needs to be bombed, and it needs to be every possible nuclear weapons arsenal needs to be dealt with militarily. The Trump administration has, for whatever reason, decided that they want to enter talks with Iran. A lot of people are troubled by this because there have been innumerable talks with Iran and numerous agreements that have been reached that have been violated time after time by Iran. Nevertheless, as is kind of typical of President Trump's general modus operandi, he likes to view situations as deals. He likes to view situations as what is the deal that can be made rather than force being applied. And certainly to those who have accused the president of being a warmonger, you know, you have to give him credit that he is indeed, even with the most rogue nation on earth. And I think that it's safe to say that Iran and North Korea are probably tied for the two most rogue nations on earth. These direct talks have begun. Now, Steve Witkoff told Fox News that the president means what he says. Iran cannot have a bomb, and they have threatened immediate and extensive military action if these talks do not immediately result in the cessation of the military program in Iran. So keep your eyes on what is happening with that. Finally today, I want us to remember this in the midst of the Passover season. I want us to remember that key phrase of Passover, "Let my people go." Well, the reality is that 59 hostages, 24 of them believed to still be alive, remain in Gaza. Hamas just released a psychological warfare video showing some of their bodies, showing some of their deteriorated condition. But 24 are believed to be alive, 59 remain in Gaza. They are in danger of starvation, they're in danger of death, and they are in danger of the world forgetting about them. We will not forget about them. We are standing up. Can you imagine if this was your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your grandchild? We are standing up and saying, "Let my people go." We're demanding the release of these hostages. 24, 2 dozen still believed to be alive. And this is the final issue really at stake. If Hamas would stop bombing Israel, if Hamas would stop attacking and release the hostages, we would have an end to this war. So keep praying, keep believing, keep getting informed, keep connecting to Eagle's Wings. We're heading to Washington in just a couple weeks, May 5 and 6, Israel Advocacy Day. Israel Advocacy Day, May 5 and 6 in Washington, D.C. The event has now sold out, but be praying for us and be ready to tune in. We will be live streaming from Washington, D.C. for this historic gathering of pastors and rabbis going up to Washington together in one united voice. I'll see you next week right here on the Israel Frontline Update.